Back. Well, road conditions in autumn steadily get worse as the nights get darker, wetter, and foggier. And don't forget about those deer.
Yeah, we're here to help guide us, especially as we have teens out on the road to expect the unexpected. Is Anne Scallon. She's with Before the Wheel, which is an online publication for safe teen driving. And I always learn so much when you're here. Let's talk a little bit about just kind of where we live. We're surrounded by woods. There's a deer hunting season. I mean, the reality, I have family members who've run into deer, and it's been very dangerous.
It is very dangerous, and we are a very wooded state, and even right here in Milwaukee, you know, a city, but surrounded by suburbs with woods. So we're like the 7th highest state in the nation that you will have a collision with a deer.
Wow. So the message here this time of year, animals are kind of on the move, right? That's one of the things that we need to know.
Right. The deer are in their mating season, so they're really on the move. Right now? And so that'll go through about the end of November. That's where 40% of the collisions happen in the entire year in just that 6 weeks.
Because they're so active. And
they're so active, and our times are changing. I mean, it's dusk. You know, you go down a road 6:30 p.m. one night, and wow, this is nice. It's sunny. I can see everything. A week or two later, 6:30 is much darker.
Right? Yeah, and those are the tough times too. Is dusk and dawn. They're particularly active, right?
Exactly.
Let's go through some of your tips, because our producer helped us by putting these on the screen, because I think they're really good reminders if they're things you've already heard, but definitely share with your teenage driver. So leave extra room between your vehicle and the one ahead of you all the time, especially when the weather is foggy.
2 car lengths, right? Isn't that the rule?
Well, 2 to 3 car lengths, really, depending on the speed you're going.
If you see deer crossing, you see a sign for that, slow down. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's
that
huge.
is a sign that there's a lot of activity in this spot. We know there's a lot of activity, so watch out.
Yeah, pay attention. Okay, if you encounter a deer or another animal, remain in your lane, lift the foot off the pedal and brake lightly, but don't swerve if you hit the animal. Is that right?
This is the most important point.
Yeah, because this is, I think, instinct almost takes over against this one.
Right.
Don't slam on the brakes.
Well, try not to even use the brakes. So lift your foot from the pedal, stay in the lane, even if you have to hit the animal. And
even if they're stopped? Because, you know, a lot of times they'll come on the road and they'll just stop in front of you.
Right, but most the serious accidents or fatalities happen when you swerve into the oncoming lane or you swerve into the tree.
Okay.
And so it's absolutely important that you stay going forward, lift your foot from the pedal, and if you have to brake, lightly.
Do not exit your vehicle to check on the animal or to check on your car.
Right. Exactly, because again, this is where a lot of the serious accidents happen. Is people like feel bad or they feel uncomfortable, they want to check out what's going on. That's the worst thing that you can do.
Because you put yourself at risk by getting out of your vehicle. But what if you're worried about someone else hitting the animal, it being a danger to another driver if it's still on the road?
Well, it's important to get your blinkers on quickly. Try to pull over if you can. Call 911. But you really do have to stay in your vehicle. These are all things that the National Safety Transportation has studied, and these are the safest activities to do. Okay,
so with daylight savings and all the shorter days, how do those affect? Is it really just the daylight that's the issue?
Yes, it's because an issue, again, because we have habits, you know, so we go down a road and we're not thinking, we're not realizing it's dark. Well, some of the kids are still riding their bikes home from school. Or walking or doing activities, and we're thinking, oh, it's dark, you know, the kids won't be out at this time. So we really have to be alert.
I saw my youngest daughter, I hate to admit this, texting while she was riding her bicycle, passing my house. I was like, oh, so I texted her.
Was she no-handing it? Was she no-handing it, biking like this?
Yes, because she's been practicing riding her bike without using her hands. So I'm like, I wonder if that's why. I know, but I'm not.
So she can text.
I'm not throwing her under the bus, but I'm just saying, you know, I'm very concerned about my kids as my oldest is now driving, and as my 2 others, about the texting thing.
Right, what the texting does is it takes away your reaction time. And things happen quickly, like an animal darts out, or somebody doesn't stop at a stop sign, or But I would really talk to your daughter because it is a prelude to her thinking that it's okay to text when you're doing an activity that
she's
involves
good at it.
Safety, yes.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
They feel they're good at it. And
Yeah.
quite frankly, as we talked about in the one session where we focused on the texting, the neuroscientists have studied it, and you can't get good at it. You cannot change the fact that you do not have the reaction time. Our brains are not there yet. I'm not saying 50 years from now they won't be, but they're not there yet, and you can't practice enough to change it.
Well, and you think even if you know they think they're good at it's being defensive for the other driver. You don't know what that other driver is doing. So I know people can learn more about all the things you talk about, including this, at beforethewheel.com. Thanks so much, Anne.
Always great to see you.
Yeah.
Very timely time to be talking about this. Thank you so much.
All right.